Hey, I was doing the dishes and I can't feel my hands, and I was thinking, and I've been weeding the garden and thinking, and uh, what is it? What is it that makes some people aware of, you know, their their country's backslide to fascism? Um, was it my fundamentalist Christian fascist father who, you know, psychologically interrogated and blamed me for his evil? Is it epigenetics? Is it a race trauma memory from empire starving and slaughtering some of the Irish? Remnants in my blood. Is it the knowledge that atrocity does and can happen because of people's compliance and ignorance? Um, I mean, certainly the exhibition that I'm hosting and have the privilege of exhibiting other artists' work within, makes me think about my own motivations. And I mean, I think it's very similar, as other commentators have said, to the COVID situation, whereby, I've noticed that a lot of non compliant people who I know have prior experience of trauma and distrust of authority. So, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that art has to be rebellious or antagonistic, but there is a protective instinct in cultivating values around, creativity and growth, self-expression, self-knowledge, being able to define and live according to one's own value, reality. Like a plant would grow to be its own shape, its own species. I'm questioning, what it is. Why am I hosting a show around people getting slaughtered on the other side of the world? And that's a great question. And I think it's because I feel the threat of the same empires. The analogy people use about frogs getting slowly boiled in pots by the increase of the water temperature going up and up and up. I feel like we're getting ring fenced. I feel like our cities are turning into mind control concentration camps. I feel like we're self-administered robots. And a lot of that human cohesion is getting turned into an algorithmic sort of processing data plant somewhere. Fascism by any other name, techno-fascism. And I think when we see blood sacrifice in a biblical sort of lens from the other side of the world, with other agents like Peter Thiel sort of talking about Antichrist and AI, and when we see these manufactured apocalyptic themes being constructed for us, it just makes me think that we should have our own agency around the construction of the future, a human future, a good future, rather than being corralled by a bunch of elite sadists who simply see us all as farmed animals. To me, that's a very general and personal opinion about why I react to the Palestinian issue, apart from the fact that human beings shouldn't be destroyed like that. All wars are banker wars, and we're all involved in those banker wars, whether we use the privilege of our ignorance to say we don't like political art, or don't use our creativity for politics. Bullshit, like the personal is spiritual is political, and you cannot get away from acting in the world. Every act is political, whether you intend it to be politics or not. That's the agency of having an ego in a social domain. I think reacting to tyranny often puts one in a sort of a reactionary and defensive posture. But what I like about art is that it returns the action of the maker into being responsible for one's own dialogue. And I think all the artists that I'm showing, exhibiting a sense of psychic sovereignty, or attempts at that. And I think that's what's marvellous about writing about art and sharing it with other people, because it only encourages dialogue and metaphysical, other dimensional shifts around, things that our English language has forgotten. I think other languages probably hold more of a mixed metaphor in terms of, like the way different words can mean different things in different times. English has been siloed into a sort of linear, rationalistic sort of... art is a remnant of a kind of, genetic memory. So there's some thoughts while I was doing the dishes, like a man who lives alone doing the dishes. Thank you for listening.